Om Bhurabhuva Svah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yunah Prachodayat. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaskar, my dear friends. In this video, I am going to describe Maitreya Upanishad. The Maitreya Upanishad is one of the minor Upanishads of Hinduism. Composed in Sanskrit, it is one of the 16 Upanishads that belongs to the Samaveda, is classified as one of the 20 Sannyasa Renunciation Upanishad and is one of the Vedanta Upanishads. The text is listed at 29 in the serial order in the Muktika, enumerated by Rama to Hanuman in the modern era anthology of 108 Upanishads. The Upanishad states that renunciation and self-knowledge is the path to moksha, liberation and spiritual freedom. According to Maitreya, the Lord is within the heart of each person. He is the witness of the reason's dance and the object of the utmost love. One must renounce the world to achieve the rapture of the self and become one with Brahman. The best renunciation is one, states Maitreya, where one abandons pride, wealth, delusion and lust. When delusion dies in a person, enlightenment is born. In chapter 2 and 3 of the Upanishad, Lord Shiva preaches, says Maitreya, the secret of highest reality, Brahma. The text states that Atma, soul, self, Brahma and Shiva are the same. One must understand one's true essence, that is soul, and one must worship with the thought, I am He. The Maitreya Upanishad states Patrick Olivella is a record of Sandhya rituals and rites that were abandoned in the Advaita Vedanta tradition of Hinduism, along with the rationale for this development. The word Maitreya means benevolent or friendly. The text is also known as Maitreya Upanishad. 6 Sannyasa Upanishads, Aroni, Laghu Sannyasa, Kathasruti, Brahmansa, Jabala and Brahma Upanishads were completed in the last few centuries of the first millennium BCE, followed by Asrama Upanishad, which was completed around 300 CE. The Maitreya Upanishad is one of the younger Upanishads that likely followed the Asrama in medieval period of the first millennium. 2 versions of Maitreya Upanishad manuscripts have survived into the modern times, one from North India and one from South. These differ primarily in chapter 2, but the message is essentially the same. The South Indian manuscript is part of 108 Upanishads collection and is typically the oft-translated version. The Maitreya Upanishad is also named as Maitreya Upanishad in 2 anthologies. Scrader states that this is an error, but one which has spread to many manuscript collections. The Upanishad is structured in 3 chapters. The first chapter has 4 sections, the first 3 of which are prose, and the last section has a prose prologue and 14 verses, all structured as dialogue between ascetic king Brihadartha and Sakyana. The second chapter starts with a prose prologue, has 3 sections with a total of 30 verses, structured as knowledge from God Shiva to Maitreya. Chapter 3 has no separated sections and consists of 24 verses, further elaborating Shiva's wisdom on the Brahma, Atma and unity of two. Now I start the actual description of the actual Upanishad. Now I start the actual Upanishad. Maitreya Upanishad of Samaveda. A king named Brahdartha, thinking this body to be impermanent and having acquired indifference to objects, retired to the forest, leaving his eldest son to rule over his kingdom. With hands uplifted and eyes fixed on the sun, he performed a severe tapas or religious austerity. At the end of 1,000 days, the Lord Sakyana Muni, a knower of Atma, who was like fire without smoke, and who was as a scorching fire with his tejas spiritual lustre, approached him and addressed the king thus: Rise, rise, and choose a boon. The king prostrated before him and said, O Lord, I am not an Atmavit or knower of Atma. Thou art a Tattvavit. We hear, please enlighten me about Sattva, the state of Sat or Brahma. To which the Muni replied thus: O thou that are born of the race of Ikshvaku, to begin with, your question is difficult of explanation. Do not question me. Ask for any other thing you desire. Thereupon the king touched the feet of Sakyana and recited the following verse: What is the use of these to me or any other? Oceans dry up, mountains sink down, the positions of Dhruva, the polar star, and of three change, and trees change, earth is drowned, the Suras, angels run away, leaving their respective places. While such is the case, I am he in reality. Therefore, of what avail to me is the gratification of desires, since one who clings to the gratification of desires is found to return again and again to this samsara, mundane existence. Thou art able to extricate me out of the samsara. I am drowned like a frog in a dry well. Thou art my refuge. O Lord, this body was the result of sexual intercourse. It is without wisdom. It is hell itself. It came out through the urinary orifice. It is linked together by bonds. It is coated over with flesh. It is bound by skin. It is replete with feces, urine, vayu, air, bile, phlegm, marrow, fat, serum, and many other impurities. O Lord, to me in such a foul body as this thou art my refuge. Thereupon Lord Sakyana was pleased and addressed the king thus: O Maharaja Brahdartha, the flag of the Ikshvaku race. Thou art an Atam Jnani. Thou art one that has done his duty. Thou art famous by the name of Marut. At which the king asked, O Lord, in what way can you describe Atma? To which he replied thus: sound, touch, and others, which seem to be artha, wealth, are in fact anartha, evil. The bhutatma, the lower self, clinging to these never remembers the supreme seat. Through tapas, sattva, quality is acquired. Through sattva, a pure mind is acquired, and through mind, Parama Atma, the higher self, is reached. Through attaining Atma, one gets liberation, just as fire without fuel is absorbed into its own womb. So, Chitta, thought, through the destruction of its modifications, is absorbed into its own womb source. To a mind that has attained quiescence and truth, and which is not affected by sense objects, the events that occur to it through the bondage of karma are merely unreal. It is chitta alone that is samsara. It should be cleansed with effort. Whatever his chitta thinks of that nature he becomes. This is an archaic mystery. With the purifying of chitta, one makes both good and bad karmas to perish. One whose mind is thus cleansed attains the indestructible bliss through his own self. Just as chitta becomes united with an object that comes across it, so why should not one be released from bondage when one is united with Brahma? One should meditate in the middle of the lotus of the heart. Parameshwara, the highest Lord, who is the witness to the play of buddhi, who is the object of supreme love, who is beyond the reach of mind and speech, who has no beginning or end, who is Sat alone, being of the nature of light only, who is beyond meditation, who can neither be given up nor grasped by the mind, who is without equal or superior, who is the permanent, who is of unshaken depth, who is without light or darkness, who is all pervading, changeless, and vehicleless, and who is wisdom of the nature of moksha, salvation. I am He, that Paramatma, who is the eternal, the pure, the liberated, of the nature of wisdom. True, the subtle, the all-pervading, the secondless, the ocean of bliss, and one that is superior to Pratyagatma, the lower self. There is no doubt about it. How will calamity or bondage approach me, who am depending upon my own bliss in my heart, who have put to shame the ghost of desires, who look upon this universe as but a jugglery, and who am not associated with anything, the ignorant with their observance of the caste and orders of life obtain their fruits according to their karmas. Men who have given up all duties of caste, etc., rest content in the bliss of their own self. The distinctions of caste and orders of life have divisions among them, have beginning and end, and are very painful. Therefore, having given up all identification with sons and as well as body, one should dwell in that endless and most supreme bliss. Adhyaya 2. Then Lord Maitreya went to Kailash and having reached it asked him thus, O Lord, please initiate me into the mysteries of the highest tattva. To which Mahadeva replied, the body is said to be a temple, the Jiva in it is Shiva alone. Having given up all the caste of offerings of Agyana, one should worship him with Soham, I am he. The cognition of everything as non-different from oneself is jnana, wisdom. Abstracting the mind from sensual objects is dhyana, meditation. Purifying the mind of its impurities is snana, bathing. The subjugation of the indriyas, sensual organs, is socha, purification. One should drink the nectar of Brahma and beg food for maintaining the body. Having one thought alone, he should live in a solitary place without a second. The wise man should observe thus, then he obtains absolution. This body is subject to birth and death. It is of the nature of the secretion of the father and mother. It is impure, being the seat of happiness and misery. Therefore, bathing is prescribed for touching it. It is bound by the dhatus, skin, blood, etc., is liable to severe diseases, is a house of sins, is impermanent, and is of changing appearance and size. Therefore, bathing is prescribed for touching it. Foul matter is naturally oozing out always from the nine holes. Its body contains bad odor and foul excrement. Therefore, bathing is prescribed for touching it. It is connected or tainted with the childbirth impurity of the mother and is born with it. It is also tainted with death impurity. Therefore, bathing is prescribed for touching it. The conception of I and mine is the odor arising from the besmeared dung and urine. The release from it is spoken of as the perfect purification. The external purification by means of water and earth is on account of the worldly. The destruction of the threefold affinities of Shastras, world, and body generates the purity for cleansing chitta. That is called the real purification, which is done by means of the earth and water of jnana, wisdom, and vairagya in difference to objects. The conception of Advaita non-dualism should be taken in as the bhiksha, alms food, but the conception of Dvaita, dualism, should not be taken in. To a sannyasi ascetic, bhiksha is ordained as dictated by the Shastra and the Guru. After becoming a sannyasi, a learned man should himself abandon his native place and live at a distance like a thief released from prison. When a person gives up ahankara, I amness, the son, wealth, the brother, delusion, the house, and desire, the wife, there is no doubt that he is an emancipated person. Delusion, the mother is dead. Wisdom, the son is born. In this manner, while two kinds of pollution have occurred, how shall we, the ascetics, observe the sandhyas conjunction period? The chit, consciousness of the sun, is ever shining in the resplendent akash of the heart. He neither sets nor rises. While so, how shall we perform the sandhyas? Ekanta, solitude, is that state of one without second as determined by the words of a guru. Monasteries or forests are not solitudes. Emancipation is only for those who do not doubt. To those who doubt, there is no salvation even after many births. Therefore, one should attain faith. Mere abandoning of the karmas or of the mantras uttered at the initiation of a sannyasi ascetic will not constitute sannyasa. The union of jiva, atma, the lower self, and Parma, Atma, the higher self, at the two sandhis, morning and evening, is termed sannyasa. Whoever has a nausea for all, ishana, desire, and rest as for vomited food, and is devoid of all affection for the body, is qualified for sannyasa. At the moment when indifference towards all objects arises in the mind, a learned person may take up sannyasa. Otherwise, he is a fallen person. Whoever becomes a sannyasi on account of wealth, food, clothes, and fame becomes fallen in both as a sannyasi and as a householder. Then he is not worthy of salvation. The thought of contemplation upon tattvas is the transcendental one, that of the sastras, the middling, and that of mantras, the lowest. The delusion of pilgrimages is the lowest of the lowest, like one who, having seen in water the reflection of fruits in the branches of trees, taste and enjoys them, the ignorant without self cognition are in vain overjoyed with as if they reached Brahma. That ascetic is an emancipated person who does not abandon the internal alms taking with the meditation upon the non dual, generating vairagya as well as faith, the wife, and wisdom, the son. Those men termed great through wealth, age, and knowledge are only servants to those that are great through their wisdom, as also to their disciple. Those whose minds are deluded by Maya, however learned they may be, do not attain me, the all full Atma, and roam about like crows simply for the purpose of filling up their belly well burnt up by hunger, etc. For one that longs after salvation, the worship of images made of stone, metal, gem, or earth is productive of rebirth and enjoyment. Therefore, the ascetic should perform his own heart worship alone and relinquish eternal worship in order that he may not be born again. Then, like a vessel full to its brim in an ocean, he is full within and full without. Like a vessel void in the ether, he is void within and void without. Do not become or differentiate between the Atma that knows or the Atma that is known. Do become of the form of that which remains after having given up all thoughts, relinquishing with their vasanas the seer, the seen, and the visual worship Atma alone. The resplendent supreme presence, that is the real supreme state wherein all sankalpas, thoughts, are at rest, which resembles the state of a stone and which is neither waking nor sleeping. अध्याय 3 I am I, the self. I am also another, the non-self, not self. I am Brahma. I am the source of all things. I am also the Guru of all worlds. I am of all the worlds. I am He. I am myself alone. I am Siddha. I am the pure. I am the supreme. I am always He. I am the eternal. I am stainless. I am Vijnana. I am the excellent. I am Soma. I am the all. I am without honor or dishonor. I am without gunas, qualities. I am Shiva, the auspicious. I am neither dual or non-dual. I am without the dualities of heat or cold, etc. I am He. I am neither existence nor non-existence. I am without language. I am the shining. I am the glory of void and non-void. I am the good and the bad. I am happiness. I am without grief. I am Chaitanya. I am equal in all. I am the like and the non-like. I am the eternal, the pure and the ever felicitous. I am without all and without not all. I am Satvika. I am always existing. I am without the number one. I am without the number two. I am without the difference of Sat and Asat. I am without Sankalpa. I am without the difference of manyness. I am the form of immeasurable bliss. I am one that exists not. I am the one that is not another. I am without body, etc. I am with asylum. I am without asylum. I am without sport. I am without bondage or emancipation. I am the pure Brahma. I am He. I am without chitta, etc. I am the supreme and the supreme of the supreme. I am ever of the form of deliberation and yet am without deliberation. I am He, I am of the nature of the Akara and Ukara as also of Makara. I am the earliest, the contemplator and contemplation. I am one that cannot be contemplated upon. I am He. I have full form in all. I have the characteristics of Satyachit Ananda. I am of the form of places of pilgrimages. I am the higher self and Shiva. I am neither the thing defined nor non-defined. I am the non-absorbed essence. I am not the measure or the measure. I am Shiva. I am not the universe. I am the seer of all. I am without the eyes, etc. I am the full grown. I am the wise. I am the quiescent. I am the destroyer. I am without any sensual organs. I am the doer of all actions. I am one that is content with all Vedantas, either books or Atmic wisdom. I am the easily attainable. I have the name of one that is pleased as well as one that is not. I am the fruits of all silence. I am always of the form of Chinmatra, absolute consciousness. I am always Sat, beingness, and Chit, consciousness. I am one that has not anything in the list. I am not one that has not anything in the list. I am without the heart granthi. Not. I am the being in the middle of the lotus. I am without the six changes. I am without the six seats and without the six enemies. I am within the within. I am without place and time. I am of the form of happiness, having quarters as my garment. I am the emancipated one, without bondage. I am without the no. I am of the form of partless. I am the partless. I have chitta. Though released from the universe, I am without the universe. I am of the form of all light. I am the light, Jyotis, in Chinmatra, absolute consciousness. I am free from the three periods of time past, present, and future. I am without desires. I am without body. I am one that has no body. I am gunaless. I am alone. I am without emancipation. I am the emancipated one. I am ever without emancipation. I am without truth or untruth. I am always one that is not different from Sat, be-ness. I have no place to travel. I have no going, etc. I am always of the same form. I am the quiescent. I am Purushottamma, the Lord of souls. There is no doubt that he who has realized himself thus is myself. Whoever hears this once becomes himself Brahma. Yeah, he becomes himself Brahma. Thus is the Upanishad. So this completes Maitreya Upanishad. Thank you for watching this video. This video is also completed. Namaskar, my dear friends. Thank you.